I would like you to take a moment and think about the relationship you have in your life. Not just any relationship, but the personal relationships, the intimate relationships. Now think about how you stay in contact with that person or with those people. 33% of American adults prefer to text over all forms of communication, not just over phone calls, but over all forms. I don't know about you, but when I heard that 1/3 of adults in our country would rather text than have a phone conversation, I was astonished. I'm here today to talk to you about communication and the results of calling people versus texting people. Solid communication is key to healthy relationships as well as deep connections so that all of us can find love and deep intimacy. I'm showing my age here, but when I was growing up, we didn't have iPhones. We had black and white flip phones, and it took an eternity to text anybody. If I wanted to talk to somebody, I gave them a call and we would meet up. As the years have gone by, texting has become easy and it's become convenient. The awkwardness of having to speak to someone new on the phone is no longer an issue, but we've lost the importance and the virtue that comes with building deep connections with people. I would like to take a look at how communication has evolved in the sense of text messaging and how miscommunication is occurring, and then the results that are caused from text messaging and loneliness and isolation. Texting is such a widely used form of communication nowadays. So how did we get to this point? Communication has changed tremendously over the years. We started out as friendly phone calls to your family, and we started from going and meeting our neighbors in person and building new friendships. And now we're at the point where we can have full conversations at a blink of an eye without actually having to talk to anyone. It's astonishing. The first phone call was made in 1876, and the first text message was in 1992. It used to be common to meet friends at gatherings and at events. Now we just hop on the internet and we can talk to people all over the world through messaging. Common forms of communication that are used today include direct messaging, email, and texting. Our forms of communication have come a long way, but now let's look at how these forms of communication are leading to miscommunication. Miscommunication is the failure to communicate accurately. This happens all the time when we communicate through text messages. There are thousands of human emotions. It is impossible for us to convey those human emotions through text messages. And I know what you're thinking. We have emojis, right? So emojis can only take you so far. They can't fully express the range of emotions that humans need in order to communicate and build connections. It's much harder to convey to a friend and that I'm not okay through a text message, even when I'm afraid to say it. If I just say I'm okay and put a smiley face, even when I'm not, they're gonna think that I am. We need connections in order to be happy and healthy and productive through our lives. Have you ever sent a text message and it autocorrect to something you didn't mean to say? Or have you ever sent a text message to the wrong person? I have done both of these, and as a result, I've had to mend relationships based on this accidental communication. These are all problems that happen with the most common forms of communication today. Now, what is happening to our society as we continue down this path of miscommunication? The result of people missing out on phone conversations is loneliness and isolation. Over the time, as we text our oldest friends, the relationships begin to drift apart. Yes, you may check in occasionally, But leaving, just going through those text messages, you miss the opportunity to deepen that connection. As we lose friends, we become more alone in the world. Isolation and loneliness is really high in our country right now. As a result of this loneliness, rates of suicide have increased. Jean Twing, an author in a study conducted for teens, found that teens who spend 5 or more hours per day on their devices are 71% more likely to have risk factors for suicide. This increase in the use of devices, text messaging, email, direct messaging, is a direct correlation with the increase in suicide. Our country is spending more time looking at screens, and we forget to make the real connection with the person on the other side of that. To build that connection, we have to start making the phone calls instead of just shooting a text. You've all heard the proof. Now it's time to change the way that we communicate. We can stop texting one another and start picking up the phone and making that call. At least we can make an effort to call and check up on each other a couple times a week. We can hear the emotion, the joy, the heartbreak, the excitement, the sadness, so that we can all have empathy for one another. A little bit of effort can make a huge difference in someone's life when it comes to communication. Thank you.